If you're new to fasting, or maybe you've tried it before but you're struggling to see results, honestly, I'm not surprised. There is so much mixed information trying to sell you something. Fasting Tube is independent and focusing on real information. Let's get started with today's video.
The question, what are the pros and cons of intermittent fasting? Here are 7 good and bad lessons I've learned from 4 years of intermittent fasting. Here are 7 good and bad lessons I've learned from 4 years of intermittent fasting. It's a scientific fact that you need to eat breakfast every morning to lose weight. It's a scientific fact that you need to eat breakfast every morning to lose weight. You shouldn't skip meals, it's not healthy. You have to eat 6 small meals every day. You shouldn't skip meals, it's not healthy. You have to eat 6 small meals every day. These were some of the objections I raised to a nutritionist who prescribed a 3-month intermittent fasting protocol during a consultation over 4 years ago. The nutritionist was adamant that intermittent fasting would solve the main problems I battled with at the time: weight gain, an unhealthy diet, constant tiredness and poor concentration, to name a few. Even though I was skeptical, after 30 minutes of listening to the nutritionist preach on the benefits of intermittent fasting, I decided to self-experiment and give it a try. The next day I skipped breakfast, ate my first meal at 12 p.m. and my last meal at 7 p.m. This protocol was repeated each day for the next 3 months. On the last day of the prescribed 3-month period, I walked into a local gym, took off my shoes and placed my 2 feet on a white weight scale. I had little to no expectation for results. As a matter of fact, I didn't keep track of my weight change throughout the 3-month period. I watched the numbers on the scale go up and up and up, then it stopped. I was stunned. I had lost 22 pounds, 10 kilograms, of weight over the 3-month period. I had lost 22 pounds, 10 kilograms, of weight over the 3-month period. Needless to say, I was elated and immediately set out to complete another 3 months of intermittent fasting. Those 3 months turned to 1 year, then 2 years, and today, after 4 years of intermittent fasting, I'd say it has been one of the best decisions of my life. Here are 7 good and bad lessons I've learned from intermittent fasting, with some insights that may be useful for you. 7 good and bad lessons from 4 years of intermittent fasting. 7 good and bad lessons from 4 years of intermittent fasting. 1. Intermittent fasting isn't a starvation diet, it's a healthy lifestyle. 1. Intermittent fasting isn't a starvation diet, it's a healthy lifestyle. Most people I've shared the philosophy of intermittent fasting with usually comment by saying, "Oh yeah, I've done that before." You mean like starving yourself to lose weight, right? This couldn't be further from the truth. Intermittent fasting isn't a diet. It's a pattern of eating, or to be more specific, it's a lifestyle that can be sustained for a lifetime. 2. Listen to your body on what to eat. 2. Listen to your body on what to eat. One of the most common inquiries about intermittent fasting revolves around what to eat during the protocol. From my experience, any balanced healthy meal will suffice. However, a diet similar to the Blue Zones diet could help to achieve sustained weight loss, improved mental performance and better health. The most important lesson I've learned about what to eat is to listen to your body and eat according to its needs. For example, if you feel tired and drained after eating rice or grains, you could try eating more vegetables instead. If you feel more energized after doing this, that's your body's way of telling you to stick to vegetables and avoid consuming high-carb foods. What to eat. This is why I'm a strong advocate against a fixed diet. Our bodies are constantly changing as we get older. Plus, eating the same meals every day increases the odds of developing food intolerance and diseases. Thankfully, I came across this idea of eating by listening to your body whilst reading the work of internationally renowned holistic health expert, Paul Chek specifically, in his book How to Eat, Move and Be Healthy. The key lesson here is to consistently listen to your body and experiment with different foods for optimal health. 3. Intermittent fasting simplifies your life. 3. Intermittent fasting simplifies your life. Before practicing intermittent fasting, I was constantly thinking about what food to buy, when to cook and prep 6 meals a day. This tedious routine caused inconsistency with my weight training routine and my results suffered for it. Nowadays, my life is a lot more simple. I eat 1 or 2 major meals a day, without obsessing over what to eat, and still make consistent progress towards achieving my health goals. The intermittent fasting protocol simplifies life by reducing the number of decisions you'd have to make. 4. Expect your results to slow down after a year. 4. Expect your results to slow down after a year. During my first year of intermittent fasting, I lost a lot of weight, shed a good chunk of fat and leaned into the best shape of my life. But, After my first year, my weight and fat loss reduced significantly, and the results slowed down over the years. This makes sense, since your body can only lose so much fat till it's detrimental for your health. Make sure to keep track of your intermittent fasting progress on a spreadsheet or a sturdy notebook, for future reference. 5. Intermittent fasting plus high-intensity interval training equals rapid fat loss. 5. Intermittent fasting plus high-intensity interval training equals rapid fat loss. If you want to lose fat as quickly as possible, I'd recommend you introduce any form of training that has high intensity. For example, when I got started with intermittent fasting, I introduced 10 minutes of sprinting 3x a week, plus weekly football matches. You can choose any form of exercise i.e., swimming, skipping, jogging, and then raise the intensity till you're gassed out after every workout. In addition, training in this way on an empty stomach could also help with fat loss. I'm not exactly sure about the science behind why training on a fasted state could aid fat loss, but I'd recommend you experiment with this as well. Intuitively, it makes sense why this could work, since fasting helps to restrict calories, plus the high-intensity training which burns even more calories. Over time, your total daily calorie intake drops significantly and more fat is shed off your body. At 6. Intermittent fasting is a tool to reduce calorie intake. Intermittent fasting is a tool to reduce calorie intake. Just like any newbie, during the first year of intermittent fasting, I believed that I had discovered the magic formula to weight loss and getting lean. I would preach to everyone about how this was the only way to achieve their health goals because it worked so well for me. Over the years, as I've experimented with intermittent fasting, I've discovered that the main reason why intermittent fasting works so well for weight loss is because it helps to reduce the amount of time, and thus, the amount of food you can eat. The less food you eat, the less calories you consume and the more weight you lose. It's simple maths really. There's nothing magical about it. People who attempt intermittent fasting and fail, lament that it doesn't work. But, in most cases, it's because they didn't track calories properly. Intermittent fasting is simply another tool to help you to reduce calorie intake, and if you choose to overeat junk food after a long fast, you could still end up gaining more weight than the weight you had lost. Intermittent fasting isn't an excuse to indulge in your favorite ice cream or chocolate cookie, without a care in the world. As long as you ensure the total calories consumed is less than what you use to move and live each day, you'll lose weight and burn fat over time. 7. Don't let intermittent fasting prevent you from enjoying your life. 7. Don't let intermittent fasting prevent you from enjoying your life. The biggest lesson I've learned during my 4-year journey of intermittent fasting is to stop worrying about being perfect and enjoy life, regardless of progress towards my goals. During the first year of intermittent fasting, I refused to break my fast outside of my eating window. I would travel on holidays to new places, missing the experiences of eating new food from different cultures because I was fasting. I often looked down on people who didn't live as healthy a lifestyle as I did, and held fast to a rigid intermittent fasting protocol. Over time, I've learned that there's more to life than losing weight, gaining muscle and getting in shape. Sure, I still work towards achieving my health goals every week, but I don't beat myself up if I mess up. Sometimes, I have a meal for breakfast instead of fasting. Sometimes, I break my fast at the right time, but then, binge eat unhealthy food. At the end of the day, I can only pick myself up from where I left off. Where to go from here? Where to go from here? Intermittent fasting may or may not work for you. It's a lifestyle change that I strongly vouch for because of the many benefits it has given me, mentally and physically. Keep experimenting to find what works for you, but always remember to enjoy the journey. Because, you can always lose or gain with respect to your weight, muscle and fitness, but you can never get back time. Bonus. Free quick start guide. Free quick start guide. I've put together an intermittent fasting quick start guide for beginners to help you quickly get started with intermittent fasting. Within the free PDF you'll get the 3 best intermittent fasting methods and worksheets to help you lose weight and get in shape.